Alright everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So now it is time to go over the Aegis Knight over here. So I have already gone over the build project pilot that we have for this week, as well as the A to Z or the Amazon Prime Gundam over here. So if you guys, that should be the video after this or before this one over here. So yeah, so let's actually get started with the Aegis Knight. So I think, the overall best part from the set is actually gonna I think all of them is actually pretty good in terms of the stat distribution you can find on the weaponries. I think they're fairly well, but I think the best part is definitely obviously the 40% trade. So we have ourselves the 40% trade right here. So I believe this one is actually our second one now, having a 40% trade in terms of the segments of parts. So I think the previous one that we had was the Barbaric, which is probably not your best combo, just because I feel like the Barbaric is more or less having a little bit more shot defense than it needed to be. So this one is definitely going to be a little bit more balanced one in a way. So you guys see that all the upper top ones right here are basically 9 instead of 700. So you're pretty much looking at neck and neck in terms of the overall stats. So I think basically the most important thing that we need to be looking at is definitely going to be the portrait, which we actually had the 40% trait, so that is actually good. So if you guys are talking about should I alterate the torso, definitely 100% alterate it, because this is probably, I wouldn't want to say the best part of the set in a way. All the other one, I don't want to say that they're bad, but it's just in terms of what they're doing, they're not giving us like the best possible portrait outcome, like in terms of something we have like this, for example, right? The beam saber. Switching over to the beam saber, the beam saber is actually going to be placed just right over here, so it's not that bad in terms of overall stat. The highest one we have is going to be right over here, the Tolic Zep. So this one is definitely going to be for your EXQ cooldown reduction type build, but like why? I don't know why they're reverting it back to the 20 to 35 split, not the 23-40. So so that said, I feel like some other ones are probably better. Like in terms of what they are doing, like they have a lot for the tech attribute. We have these right here, right? Speed attribute, this is gonna be replacing the what is it, the narrative C-Packs saber. So if you have the narrative C-Packs going on already, this one is probably the same thing again, so you don't really need to kind of work on this one anymore, because they're basically the same, while this one just have a little bit more of a higher stat distribution. This one is actually not even that bad, because you also get some shot defense, some melee defense. That's always going to be nice on like an actual melee weapon, for like a melee build in a way. So that's actually really nice. But other than that, all the other part are just kind of like, they weren't really up to my kind of expectation in terms of just comparing it to overall spreadsheet right here. So alright, so let me actually start things off the head. So I gotta say, I am very much of a big fan of the head parts, because the actual back part of the weapon does actually raise up when you do have a like awakenable EXQ or just any awakening skills. So unfortunately I couldn't pull it, so maybe next time around when we do actually have a picked up version of it, I'll actually go for it in a way. So in terms of the head stat over here, I think the most noticeable thing you will see from the Aegis Knight is the overall defense. The overall defense is very similar to each other for both your melee and shot, so that is definitely something great to see. Definitely living up to his overall expectation in terms of Kazumi trying to be the defender in a way, because not really like a defender, but in terms of like his overall character, in terms of his overall build, what he's trying to do. I think that is definitely reflected into this overall build, just having a little bit of the extra armor in a way, a little bit of overall defensive stats, so that's actually not bad. More tech wise is going to be your high mobility, close combat, so that's going to be your traditional kind of like a melee attack. So I feel like having close combat lately in terms of these builds does make it a lot more better, because lately we have been seeing a lot of pro tags nowadays, like high mobility and then high firepower. Like we haven't really seen too much in terms of close combat, so that is definitely a good change there. So in terms of EX skill, King's Mode over here, so this one is definitely going to be oriented to like a defensive heavily right here. Like look at how many defense we are getting instead of that melee attack. So that is definitely going to be for a change. You also do get a 68% health recovery and also non-flinching for a set amount period, so that's actually kind of bust right here. So one selfish thing I would have to say is only to yourself, and this is also to yourself. So I'm just like, come on. I know it's a awakenable EXQ, but like, come on, man. Like you could have given this to everyone as well. So 50% on base for all the other one, and then the melee attack is gonna be 10%. So yeah, but in general, if you do have any like just simply any percentage of buff traits right there or buff effects, you can literally multiply that, or not really multiply, but whenever you have some buff EXQ effects trait, that will literally get added on. So I mean, even if you have 1%, that's actually going to be really helpful to trigger that buff EXQ effects trait. So in terms of whether or not you want to alterate or use it, me personally, I probably won't be using that, because I feel like just any awakening is not really that good in a way. But if you want to alterate it simply for stat, kind of go for it, I guess, in a way. You're not really looking at the highest nor the lowest, so maybe you can skip on this one in a way. Like, I wouldn't recommend, like, if you see something up here already, like these right here, or well, this one's build project, but like if you see these right here, I'm like, I wouldn't go out of my way to like, let me kind of alterate this one because I kind of like it in a way. So I would definitely stick to whatever stat would be like these right here, definitely top tier, right? So if I were like you guys, me personally, I wouldn't alterate it. I would just leave it as it is. So torso, we kind of gone over there already, so that's probably like the best part of the set. So yep. Moving down to the arm now. So the arm, look at those defense, like, oof, those are really good, you know. So we are gonna be in that upper top 4 right here, so that's actually not bad. I think the best one from this set specifically is gonna be the Exxon Riser. So whenever this gets like a pickable release, this is definitely going to be the best part to be picking out. All the other ones are not really doing justice in a way like that. I don't think we have seen any better ones from the roster in terms of just looking specifically at your 7-star variant. So this one would have been good if they would have removed the 60% chance of not recalling. This is like one of hot garbage trait. Like what? Why on him? You could have given us a better option than giving that. Like, come on, man. That literally ruins this overall part. So yeah, unfortunate right there. Good armor. It's not like really good, but it's a definitely respectable number in a way. But defensive value, definitely up there. Not really the highest, but definitely within the upper echelon in a way. So yeah, pretty good. But the portrait kills it. Stat wise is good, but the portrait. So all in all, this is not going to be a good alteration either. So moving down to your leg part. So what do we have? So just purely looking at the overall parameters and stuff, like defensive, definitely again in that mid 8K, which is very good actually. So armor wise is like not really like way up there, but it's definitely not low enough where you would take a hit and die per se. So it's not bad. What about the portrait? What are we dealing with? So so wow, this is all right. So whenever they have portrait that says when operated on auto, I don't know if it's like a me problem, but I can't really get those to kind of activate. Like I set myself to like auto mode, but like I can't really seem to get that proctor in a way. So it's kind of like really situational. Like if you want to really go auto in a way, like I feel like if you I don't know if you switch from auto to manual or any other mode, like does it really take it up? So it's good, you know, having like a double EXQ reduction, like for both EXQ and melee. So that's actually really good. This one, the EXQ power reduced, that's gonna cover both your melee slash shot EXQ. So that's gonna cover it. This one specifically is gonna cover any melee attacks, your normal melee attacks, your strong melee attacks, like the normal hitting, as well as your EXQ melee EXQ specifically not gonna be your shooting. So I mean, this one, the combo is definitely good, like having that like a double reduction type right there. But I think my only kind of like a nitpick about this one is the like operate on auto. That part tends to kind of screw me over. Maybe I'm just not using it right, but if you are able to proctor that, this is definitely one of the best defensive trait right there. So definitely good, definitely a good pickup if you guys are planning to go for like a defensive type build. But other than that, this one is going to be another one of those parts where you can just kind of say, I'm not going to alterate it, because it's not going to serve too much of a great purpose naturally, just because like just naturally the game does not revolve too much around defensive traits. So having them is like a really rare item. Like even like but the thing is, like, you can't really tank from it, right? Even if you have like a full 100% on everything, like you can't really tank from like a actual finisher EXQ, those custom EXQ. You can't really survive them. So I mean, it's there, it's good. So if you guys do want to go for that is definitely good for it. But other than that, it's not really that great. So high mobility transformer, definitely a very unique combo right there. I don't, yeah, this unit does transform into the whatever mode that Aegis Gundam used to be in, the club, the 4 claw mode, whatever that thing is called. Transformer definitely works a little bit more better in terms of for like your let's say melee build, because this actually boosts a little bit of a melee attack as well. But in terms of for your shot variant, not really, because that shot defense right there does not, that 10% does not get calculated until basically everything calculates. So whatever you see that 30%, you're not gonna see that included into that first. You're gonna first take your 30% of that, add it in there, and then bam, that's when you add this on. So you're not gonna you're not really gonna see this until the end of the calculation. So that's why it's not really that good in a way for your shooting based build. But the leg part, not really that good for the purpose of it. What about the back part? So armor is definitely really high. Defensive value is relatively close on that, almost on the upper 9k. Like not really upper, but almost getting there. So that's actually not bad. In terms of the overall melee part, this is gonna be the one of the top one as well. But unfortunately, this one is gonna be losing out to the Raven, because this one is going to be a 30 to a 35 ratio split, and then this one is specifically for your shooting base or your speed build or speed attribute only. So kind of an unfortunate right there. Even I would argue that even the Raven having that 90 seconds restriction could be a bad thing in a way. So like naturally we wouldn't even have like a Seda would be, yeah, so Seda is definitely gonna be like a better in a way, not really a better, like you do have some handicaps definitely with that HP restriction, but all in all, from what we have seen so far, like these right here, they're definitely come with flaws. So I would assume eventually they'll make something that's a little bit less of a condition in a way. So this one I wouldn't really go for it, because it's locking into a speed attribute, not packing the highest percentage that is possible. So probably not good. But if you guys don't have any of these and you are planning to like, I kind of want something at the moment, just for it, like for my speed attribute, kind of go for it. I guess like basically any part that you see on here that is not what you don't have, let's say the highest stat, like if you need that, basically kind of go for it. There's not really no stopping you, but I'm just kind of comparing like what we have basically already, right? These are something to kind of look forward to in terms of some pickup banners, for example. But if you don't have them, you won't have this for now, kind of go for it, right? There's definitely no right or wrong answer in terms of what kind of part that you guys should be using. In terms of overall spreadsheet, it is simply to kind of give you guys a more or less like a visual to like, all right, what are we looking at? How good is the new part compared to some of our recently released one? So that's gonna be pretty much it in terms of how the spreadsheet should kind of function for you guys. So word wise, high mobility and transformer. So this combo right here, like these two combo right here, you know, this is definitely preparing you for that shot defense mode arena, because like I said again, in terms of going for like a really good arena stat build, for example, this is definitely it, because you are looking at some pretty good armor like defense right there, and you have some double trait right there, or the double text that actually boosts shot defense. So that is looking very good. Actually, not to mention it, like this unit right here is actually preparing for that. So kind of good, kind of bad in a way, but kind of whatever in a way in terms of war tag, because you can definitely sub a with transformer in a way to maybe get close combat, pro tag, or even high firepower if choose some. Alright, so moving down to the melee weapon, which kind of covered already. This one could be good if you guys are planning to build like a S attribute, specifically EX cooldown build, because this one is definitely going to be your speed attribute only. So kind of the unfortunate factor, but if you guys are not planning to do that sort of build, I say Alteration, this one is probably not going to be that good. If you guys do have any of the following that is listed on here, that may be a little bit more better in a way. So otherwise, this one is probably going to be a hot skill for Alteration. So yeah. So moving over to this one over here, the lance, the shot lance over here. So this one does pack similar stat as well, but I believe this one is actually not on the list for whatever reason. It should be on there, but I guess not. So this one, this EX skill could be really good if they would have removed the defensive, like if they would change that to defense to attack. This is literally gonna be the best like short time or short cooldown EX skill. This one will probably be even better than the, what is it, the what is it, the double 7 sword rising sword, because like that one having attack increases, like well this one is not. So that one's gonna outperform this one by a long shot because of those buff EX skill effects traits. So this one, although it does come in at S power, but without the fact that you're not getting an actual attack increase, but an attack or like a defense increase, that really hurts about a lot. So I mean, the overall animation does look pretty clean. It does have like a close cut in, I believe. Well, it actually does have like a mini cut into how he raises the sword and then actually smashing to the ground. So that's actually really nice touch that they done right there. But in terms of overall effectiveness, oh man, they definitely shafted this one, but not actually giving like a melee attack. So unfortunate. S power is S power, but in terms of like how powerful it can be, just not gonna get it. So unfortunate right there. So if I were you guys, would I alterate it? Yeah, it depends what kind of like player you are in a way. Like if you want to alterate it simply just to do the EX skill, like you gotta keep it in mind. Like you're not getting buff EX skill effects on attacks, you're getting it on the defensive. So that could be a problem if you want to do some high damage dealing EX skill. This one is definitely not going to be helping out in whatsoever in a way. So alright, so moving over to the rifle, the range version of it. So overall stat is actually really good. Like the fact that they pack every stat in there, like every parameter, you get a little bit of a shot attack, you get a little bit of a melee defense and a ranged weapon. So that's actually a very nice touch actually. So this is actually good. The effects this one is giving, ooh, yikes. So this one is the old days one. So this one is a 20 to a 35 ratio, which like, back then this one used to be good, but nowadays we already have some that's gonna go up to like a 25 to a 40% split. So you guys do have those already. Let's see, I don't know, like I think we have some in here, right? Maybe. I thought we have some. Maybe like one of them actually does have it. Huh. Maybe I'm mistaken for the ranged weaponry, but basically the 20 to a 35 split, I wouldn't really invest it to it anymore, let alone to alterate it, because the 25 to a 40% split is already kind of exists out there already. So not really gonna bother with that. So I mean the overall stat, definitely like it, you know, it's definitely very good just to have these two as well. So that's actually a very good touch as well. But I just kind of feel like this the portrait is not really doing it for me anyway. So yeah. Alright, last but not least, we do have the shield. So let's see how the shield is holding up. So this is actually going to be just slightly or about 300 points off from this Cold Sora. So I mean, this one definitely has a better advantage because this one does a close combat, which is probably something we have been missing for a long time in terms of the shield category or just for the shield department in general. So in terms of the overall stat wise over here, you guys can see that both of them is almost breaking 10k at max. So that's actually kind of busted. So in terms of the EX skill, so this one is going to be one of those that's similar to the A to Z Gundam as well. So give me granting you that little bit of that melee attack as well. So when you like, even if you have like a little bit, like 1% of a buff like attack rates right there, you can definitely benefit greatly from the buff EX skill effects traits. So overall, I think the shield is definitely good for the stat stick in a way. I just feel like not having close combat in a given build, this part right here can definitely help that out for sure. So I mean, it really depends what you guys are looking at. If you guys do purely want it for the stat stick, definitely go for that. And then you guys can definitely sub slot that with the Cosmo Shield. I think that's probably what I would do if I would alterate this one. But I'm probably not going to be using that because there's not going to be any good war tag pairing with this shield compared to the Cosmo Shield. So, but there you guys have it. So in terms of the Aegis one over here, definitely something we can kind of spot and just kind of note that is extremely high defense for both. Definitely trying to prepare you for that shot defense mode arena anyway. But other than that, all the other ones are just kind of like, yeah, not really that top tier in a way. I just feel like only the torso was like probably the definitive best part in a way. I could be wrong in terms of EX skill. Those are definitely gonna be some of your personal opinions whether or not you want to alterate it. Me personally, I feel like they should be good whatever, like kind of like pre-alteration, they should be good enough like in terms of dealing damage. But if you want the next level, definitely gotta alterate it to gain that kind of like a better power stat in a way. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it in terms of the Aegis Knight alteration. Just kind of like a disappointment in a way that not all the portrait or like top tier in a way. Kind of given, right? They wouldn't pack every part trait possible to be like the best of the best. But with that being said, that's gonna be pretty much it in terms of the Alteration review for the Aegis Knight, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.